Welcome to Embracing Infinity, exploring the infinite oneness in the space of love and truth. Host Jennifer Rose is an international spiritual medium, healer, channeler, mentor, and transformational guide. Her focus is encouraging individuals to know themselves within the lens of their divine heart and highest potential, to evolve within the frequency of love and peaceful harmony. Now, here's your host, Jennifer Rose.
Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Embracing Infinity on the Sacred Spiral Network. I am Jennifer Rose, and so happy to be here with you all today. I hope you are still enjoying this beautiful summer that we have been gifted with. We're going to be going into fall shortly, so a change of seasons is on the way, and that will be so beautiful too. Quick announcement. Next Friday, I will be having Karen Perry, my dear friend and colleague who's an animal communicator, coming on Sacred Spiral Network on Embracing Infinity. So I'm so happy to be welcoming her on as well. And if you could all please like, heart, share, subscribe, tag to help the show and the network to keep growing. We love to be able to serve the community and as many people as we're able to touch in a special and profound and beautiful way. We are so grateful for all of your support and thank each and every one of you for choosing to spend this time with us. I know we're all quite busy. We have a beautiful holiday weekend ahead, so I'm very excited and grateful that all of you are here today. I'm going to be welcoming our special guest today, Simon Stone. I'm very excited to have a discussion with him here today and with all of you as well. So that will be a beautiful time to be had. Want to say hi to a few of our friends who are joining us. Hello, Marianne. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us, my darling. And there's Patrick. Hi, Patrick. Thanks for coming on. Really good to see you too. And Jennifer. Hi, Jen. How you doing, girl? So thanks for coming on here today. It's a beautiful day. And there is Miss Fran Pierce. Hello, Fran Pierce. That is her Mrs. Doubtfire. Hello, just so y'all know, it's very special, very magical. So with that, what I would love to share is just a couple of thoughts before I bring Simon on for all of you. And these are things that we already know, but are always good to be remembered. And one is this. I was able to give a message from a father in spirit to a daughter earlier this week. And one of the pieces of evidence that came through was that he used to tell the same story over and over and over again. And this beautiful daughter never got irritated by this. She never rolled her eyes. She never went, oh, like that. She loved that he told the same story over and over and over again, because within her sensitivity and the bond between the two of them, somehow she knew how important that was. And it touched my heart in a most beautiful and profound way and reminded me and all of us once again that tomorrow isn't promised to any of us. We don't know how long we have for ourselves or for the people that are near and dear to our hearts. And if this could be a gentle reminder for us to all just kind of come back to center, return to love of self and each other, it could bring, more time that we might otherwise spend on things that may be less important, if I may say that too. Time with our loved ones that is valuable and precious. And while as a medium, and all of us here being spiritual know that our loved ones are always with us, we know that life continues. Having them here in the physical is a beautiful gift. So the more that we can honor the time we have with each other, the more we are gifting ourselves with that experience. And Spirit World reminds us of this too. They often come in with apologies for things they could have done better or should or would have liked to do better in hindsight. Now that they have the whole picture, once they're crossed over, there's no time and space there. So in our time, the healing would be instant, and the awareness that they gain from their life and that life review would be instant for us because there's no time and space over in the spirit world there too. But they do tell us if we have a chance to do that here in the living, to give that apology, make those amends, take responsibility, repair friendships and relationships, they welcome that, they honor that, and they encourage that for all of us too. Um, this has also been a year of return to self. I have seen a lot of beautiful themes of self love and self care coming forward. This has been something that has been really, really encouraged from Spirit World too. And it's been a year of, beautiful new beginnings and things coming full circle. And so the journey continues. And isn't that a beautiful thing too? So I encourage you to keep living your best life, to enjoy the moments that you have, every breath, every heartbeat. It is a true gift and a true miracle. And there is so much beauty to connect with all of us that is out there too. And as we're, getting into this later part of the year, people have a lot of concerns about things that they have very little control over, and that's okay. We're worried about world events. We're worried about what's going to happen. And it can be overwhelming and confusing and really bring us into a place of fear and, lack of trust in the universe. But if I may offer to you to make that effort to return back to love, because we are not our thoughts and feelings, they are experiences. We are not almost all of our beliefs. They are experiences, they are transient, they change. And therefore, they are not a permanent part of us. They are experiences that we have that deserve love, and they deserve to be, held and in grace and compassion, but they are not us. So if we choose a belief system over somebody that we love, it may not in the long run work to our best and fullest capacity of living life. So I wanted to offer that to you if it resonates, if it feels good for you. And I want to thank you for allowing me to speak for a few minutes today before I bring our special guest on. I'm going to take a little break, and I wanted to also welcome Angela. Hi, Angela. Good to see you. And Jennifer, I'm so happy that you're doing well. I am doing well too. I'm very happy to be here. I'm loving being alive today and having Simon on and being here with all of you. And I have so much to be grateful for. So thank you, Jennifer. Hi, Trudy. Thanks for coming on today. Great to see you. And hello, Katie. Good to see you again. Thanks for coming on. And Summer Dawson, hello. Thank you. Good to have you joining us. There's my girl, Nancy. Hi, Nancy. How you doing, love? Thanks for coming on. And Jennifer, yes. Oh, I'm glad that you could resonate with that, Jennifer. Thank you. And Michael's joined us. Hi, Michael. Good to see you. Hello. He was on Embracing Infinity a couple of weeks ago. We had a lovely discussion too. So thank you all for being here today. And with that, let me please bring on and welcome a dear friend and colleague, a wonderful medium and beautiful soul with a very kind heart. Let's bring on Simon Stone.
Good evening, Jennifer.
Hello, Simon.
How are you?
I am doing very well. And how are you, my friend?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for inviting me on. It's a pleasure and an honour. And I've got to say, just listening to you there, so many things that you were saying there in your little address there just made so much sense with what's going on and going on around. So it was lovely to hear. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Everything always tends to lighten up that way. I find that, the week before I come on, all of these little things and interactions and experiences happen, and they bring this beautiful little gift for me to understand and to share if it resonates with others. My dear friend, would you mind sharing with all of us a little bit about yourself, whatever you'd like to share.
Yeah, sure. Well, um, I've I love spirituality as a whole, as a general thing, and not just spirituality, faith, trust, all those very things that we talk about that we can't really see but we can feel, and all that. Because I was one of these that when I was younger, I used to see people when I was a child and things like that. So I had spiritual experiences a lot when I was a child. But then for about 10 years, I travelled the world. When I left school at 16, I travelled the world for about 10 years, and I was lucky and privileged enough to experience so many different cultures and different ways of different people and the way we all live and everything else. And over the years, it made me realise it doesn't matter where you are in the world, a human soul, we're all the same. What I mean is we all just get up each day. We all try and live our life the best way we can, and we try and face the battles that are faced, in our lives, no matter where we are. Whether it could be in Cambodia or Colombia or Germany or wherever we are. As humans, we're all the same. We're energy beings, and I had sort of carried on having experiences through my life. Then about 12, 15 years ago is when I started thinking, let's look into this spirituality more, because there were so many synchronicities, so many signs, things that was happening that I couldn't explain. And with the experience I got and how I see humans interact and how we interact as energy beings, sometimes we don't even have to say anything and people just know things. Do you know what I mean? And it always used to fascinate me. And and I just started to look into it more, into a more sort of physical thing. Is this real, etc., etc. And then also, I was an engineer. I worked in engineering, so this was. Most people think this is as far removed, and it's not, because in engineering they teach you about harmonics and vibration and frequencies and things like that. And it got my brain thinking and trying to connect the two. And when they say science and faith, or science religion, or science and spirituality, whatever, are miles apart, actually they're not. They're actually closer than we actually believe. It's just maybe a science we've yet to understand, or whatever. Because our human bodies, we run on electrical impulses. Our nervous system, our vagus nerves, our thoughts, our memories, they create our aura, our magnetic field, whatever we like to call it. It creates an energy, and electrical impulses, and harmonics and frequencies and all that can manipulate and control that. And we were talking about it before we came online, about empathy and being a clairsentient, where we feel. We all know what that's like. I'm not sure there's loads of people on here tonight that can say, can feel. And you said about when you got loved ones, you really connect to your loved ones, and you can feel if your loved ones are having a hard time, or a little bit sad, or a little bit happy, or whatever. You can feel that emotion. You can feel that energy, because they're your loved ones. And over time, you've cultivated that bond with them, that connection with them. You start to understand, and it creates that invisible, well, I don't call it invisible, but that link with whoever. And then, like you said, the amount of things that are going on around the world, Ukraine, Israel, all these various things. We've got the American election. There's so many divisions. It creates a massive energy surge. And those of us that are clairsentient, or pick up the sensitivity of all of this, it creates so much disruption in our own lives, our own mood swings, our own how we feel, and unless we learn how to control that, or learn what it means and why, and ifs, ands, and buts, and everything else like that, it can cause so much. And it did cause 12, 13 years ago, 10 years ago, 8 years ago, it did cause a lot of problems. But I had to go through that process to learn what I sort of have learned now. But now I absolutely love it. I mean, I'm not perfect. I still make mistakes. We all do. We're human beings at the end of the day. And we also need to just remember we're still a soul in a human body, having a human experience. And this journey of ours is actually our soul's journey. And we forget, what can I do to grow? I've made a mistake or whatever. What can I take the positivity out of this? What can I do to try and do the right thing? What's, not a social construct? What's truly coming from my own heart and what I believe? And there's something I think we always seem to forget. If it feels right for you, you could have 100 people telling you not to do something, but inside you just have a knowing, just a feeling, just inside it's right for you. Then go for it. Only ourselves can live our lives. It's all down to our beliefs. What we believe is what we will create in our world. And I'm a believer of, people talk about dimensions, different dimensions and things like that. I believe, what's the population of this earth? Almost 8 billion, whatever it is. I think there's 8 billion versions of dimensions, because we all create our own world. I don't know your world, Jennifer. I don't know every step that you take. I don't know what's created you to get to where you are now, sat online talking to me. What's created that? I don't know that. You the same as you don't know me, and I don't know other people, and so on. We are unique, and one of the things I try to do, I still make mistakes, but I try to do is understand that, I try to help people, I try to guide, I try to do messages, I try to give comfort, love, and all that. But I'm not here to make decisions for people. Same as people aren't there to make decisions for me. That's the part of my growth. I make the decisions, and I have to live or die according to how I live my life. But what you can do is teach other people the tools to how to deal with life, how to navigate life and get through life and deal with emotional turmoils and various things like that. And so, even bad things, there's always a positivity out of everything. Everything's meant to happen, or is meant to be, and all we can do is just try and learn that everybody's fighting their own battle, and give a little bit more understanding, a little bit more love. You don't have to always agree. There's nothing wrong with disagreements. But my biggest thing I would say to anybody is talk and communicate, because you said it earlier, Jennifer, about how you're connected to your loved ones, and if they feel certain things, you will pick up on that. But this is how we talk and communicate. If we talk and communicate with people that we have disagreements with, we'll get an understanding of where they're coming from. And when we get an understanding of where they're coming from and the differences between people, that creates a bond. It creates a stronger bond. And then it creates understanding. And then once you've got understanding, then you've calmed the energy, and you'll find a middle ground with people. But all the time we don't talk. All the time we dismiss things. All the time we throw things out there. We don't get anywhere. You have to talk. You have to say, this is how this makes me feel. This is how that makes me feel. And that's how, and then you also have to listen. We always talk about being free, to be truly free. Let's see you respect and advocate at the top of your voice against someone who will spend their lifetime advocating against yours, but still respect you. Let's see that. Let's see how we can actually understand that there's going to be differences, but it's those differences that allow us to grow, because differences is what take us out of our comfort zone. Differences that show us that there's different ways of doing things, and it helps us get out of
Love
our
that.
own. And I think we need to just understand that we create the worlds that we live in.
Yeah, I love all of that, Simon. And oh, there's so much there. I could unpack each little part and take and talk for an hour on each little one with that too. But like what you said about like your engineering experience and spirituality is very true. It reminds me of Einstein, because he was very spiritual in that sense,
Mm,
because he saw spooky action at a distance, and so he knew he understood there was too many miracles to not believe in something,
mm.
uh, that there was
Yeah.
something spectacular. That was part of this too. Want to say hello to, let me see, Debbie, Elizabeth, Ronnie, Nicole, who've joined us too. Thank you all for being here today too. So great to see all of you. Um, and the second part was your life experience of having traveled to multiple countries. The beautiful gift of that is it really takes you out of your bubble, because
Oh, yeah.
not everybody has an opportunity to do that. It's through, their upbringing, where they live, their finances, whatever. But that's a very special gift for you to have that broad worldly experience that
Mm,
enables you to see we are all the same, despite the way we look, despite our cultural preferences and practices and things like that. And you've that is a true gift in itself to be able to
mm,
do that, and most people don't have. That's why travel is so nurturing for the soul,
mm.
and so growing for the soul too. um Oh, hi, Karen. Great to see you joining us. Thank you. Hello, Craig. Thanks for joining us here too. Just want to make sure we say hi to everybody as they're coming on. Good to see you all. um, and then wrapping it up, because all of that connects together, everything that you said, and then wrapping it up is how we treat other people, even if they're different than us too. And so like there is the light in everybody. We are all in essence pure love, yet we're having these experiences. This personality is multidimensional and it's transient. And so if we get hooked up on somebody's belief system, then we're forgetting that they're pure love behind all of that too. And this is part of the experience. I don't want to to make someone feel bad for what they're feeling, and what they're experiencing. But if we could learn to hold space for you know, the two sides of things, kind of hold space for it all and remember there's a light in everybody, it will give us some spaciousness with those emotional experiences. And like you said, everything is so supercharged right now, a lot of tension and constriction, and that doesn't feel so good for most people. And so if we're wanting relief from that, then becoming more of an observer, becoming more of a space holder, wrapping some grace and compassion around all of that, accepting that we don't know the whole story, just like you said, we don't know the whole story,
Yeah.
And so, and, there could be people who do very good things in their life, very beautiful things in their life, but yet we may reject them because of an opinion that they have about something, and it's like, I feel maybe lost opportunity for love there that we may not want to have,
Mm.
and so I love everything that you said there. It resonates with me so much too. And then we can move this into a discussion of how we manage the energy of it all, being that we're open channels and we're so sensitive, as most people here on. We have very sensitive nervous system because we're highly empathic. Most spiritual people are, and we feel everything, our own stuff, each other's, the world. And that's not wrong. It's a beautiful gift to be able to feel. It's just, how do we learn to understand it and manage it?
Completely, because it can cause disruption in your own life. Because if you're not understanding that it's a connection to an energy, and you're feeling the disruption, whatever it may be, and it causes disruption to you, and you're not aware of that it's something else, it can cause so many problems in your own life. So but I think we're going through a mass time. People call it the mass awakening or whatever word you want to use, but I think it's at the moment we're having this worldwide consciousness shift where I feel society or the world's going to go down one or two paths. We're either going to go down the enlightened route, where we're going to be very highly conscious people, enlightened people, spiritual, so on and so forth, or we're going to go down that route of, rules, regulations, constraint, control, manipulation, whatever. And it's coming down to a simple choice. Which road do you want to go down? Which road do you want to go? And it's happening worldwide. And I think that's half of the divisions that are being caused around the world at the moment, to create that turmoil, that chaos. And I think it's detrimental to the health of the world, because we need to communicate, we need to talk, communication is the thing, and once you communicate and you express, your feeling, your emotion, and where it's coming from, not hatred, not trying to win the battle, ego, or anything else like that, but just an understanding. That other person that you're telling that to may turn around and surprise you and go, do you know what, I'm so sorry, I didn't see it like that, and suddenly the problem that you had is suddenly gone, just by communication. And we really need to talk. And it's not about being controlled and having to say, explain yourself or anything else like that. It's not. It's showing an understanding, coming together, meeting in the middle, because we're all people that are just facing a battle, our own battle every day. We're trying to survive. We're trying to keep a roof over our heads. We're trying to, have nice things in life. We're trying to protect our family. Whatever it is we're trying to do, we're all just trying to do the basic, simple things, no matter where we are in the world. And I think we forget that, and it's sad sometimes that the human nature, the negative part of the human nature, where there's some people or some energies out there that feel that they have to dominate and control and be correct and be right and allow their ego to control themselves, can be a little bit sad. But if we can just stay in our own energy, be authentic to ourselves. Also, like you just said, Jennifer, hold space for others as well and allow them the space to grow and make the mistakes themselves, because we've all been on the path. We all understand what it's like to stumble and everything else like that. But as long as we learn and we keep growing and we keep trying, I'll pick anybody up off the floor, as I hope anybody would me. But if anyone stumbles, I'll pick anyone, no matter what mistakes they made, as long as we try and learn and we keep trying to grow and we keep just trying to improve ourselves. Because if we can be the best version of ourselves, what more could be asked of you? You know, because we
Yeah.
can't control others. We can't tell what others shouldn't be doing. The only thing we can control is ourselves. So, and I think people need to spend a little bit more time looking at this yourself and going, you know, what can I do to improve this? What can I do this to improve myself? What could have I done differently, or what could I have done better, or whatever? And I think we always, even when we're doing good, I've seen this quite a few times. Some lovely people with lovely hearts and their intentions are all in the right place. But then sometimes even doing good can sort of like pressurize people or put people in an awkward situation, and then someone say, well, can you stop that? And I go, well, I'm only trying to be nice. Yeah, I get that, but it's not always just about being nice. It's about reading the room, reading the energy. What does that person need? Not what they want, what do they need? And what do your own self need? It's not always about standing out there and going, look how wonderful I am, I've done this wonderful deed. It can just be sometimes just sitting there, just being there can be enough. I had to learn that the hard way. Just sometimes just being there can be enough. You don't have to actually do anything, but just being there to support someone can be enough. So, but it's about who do we want to be as our souls. We forget that it's our soul's journey. It's not just a human journey.
Yeah, I love all of that too, and you're so right. As I like to say, you can't build a castle on quicksand, which is no communication, no good communication with people. That you care about. The tower is going to keep crumbling down, and over time, how are you going to build it back up? You can keep trying, but it'll keep tumbling down. And that is a skill that we probably all could use help with, learning to communicate in a way
Okay,
that doesn't
sorry
trigger
for
the other
you're sorry
person.
for jumping in
Yes.
quickly. There's like Summer Dawson. She just put there, I have issues with worrying and stressing about things that are out of my
Yeah.
control. Summer, I
Yeah.
totally understand that. Totally understand that.
Yeah.
Because we, as human, we like to always control. We all like to know what's going to happen next. We like to sort of be able to plan and know where we're going and what we're doing. And taking yourself out of the comfort zone sometimes can be you don't know what's going to happen next. And it's having that faith. And if you have trust in spirit that, I'm here to learn a lesson, I'm on my path and things are meant to happen how they're meant to happen, then you start to lose the control of what's going to happen next. You go to spirit, okay, what will be will be, and then you deal with that, and you deal with whatever comes up in front of you. But that's one of the hardest things, is to stop worrying and stressing about things that are out of your control. That really is. And once you learn the only things that you can control is yourself, how you conduct yourself, how you react, how you conduct yourself, and all that. Once you realize that that's the only thing that you can control, then the other stuff outside of you sort of tends to just sort of just float off into the ether, you know. So, but I understand, Summer. I totally understand where you are. And like Jennifer McCormick said, authenticity.
Yeah.
Authenticity. I said this to someone actually the other day. I was having a conversation. I think it was in America. They'd done a energy study, and they had about 22,000 people, and they wanted to measure the energy output of emotion, and what emotion created the largest energy output. And everyone was saying, "Oh, love. If you're full of love, it's going to create such an energy output." And everyone, well, love came second. Oh, is it hate? Is it this? Is it that? All these different emotions. The one that came number one was authenticity. Once you're
Yeah.
truly authentic to yourself, good, bad, and indifferent, and you're at peace with who you are, everything about you. Because I even say the bad stuff isn't necessarily bad. It just be other people have a different of opinion. So it's not necessarily bad. But once you're authentic to yourself, and you can say to somebody, no, I don't like that, but without hatred or harm, you can just say it's not for me. I wish you well. If that's what you want to do, fill your boots and enjoy yourself as much as you can, but it's not for me. That doesn't really say that there's a negativity there, or again, our human ego always gets in the way. So, yes, she does, Jennifer Abraham. It does some great affirmations for worry and stress. But all I'm saying is, we need to remember it's only us that we can control. And we're an energy being. Who do I want to be? Do I want to be this good light soul out there that's happy-go-lucky? Then make that choice in that moment. Make that belief that I am this happy person. I am this good person. I am this light person. Whatever it is you choose to be, what do you want to be? And decide to be that person. Our beliefs are what create our world.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And, um, one of the best affirmations would just be, I am safe. I am safe. Keep that with you and keep saying that to yourself. Um, Sometimes what you can say also to yourself is, I don't know the whole story.
Hmm.
Just remind yourself you don't know the whole story, whether it's world circumstances or just your discord in a relationship. I don't know the whole story, so the story that's playing in my mind is just a story. It may not be true, right?
Yeah.
And then, so we're trying to avoid getting into the pain cycle and the trigger of a pain cycle, which will make you very reactive and make your nervous system get heightened, and then we can't think very clearly too. So to stay calm and grounded in that too, we're trying to avoid getting into that trigger and that pain cycle by talking yourself through and down through your emotions, and then doing anything that can help you ground and move and release that energy, like exercise, breathing, meditation, music. Talking to somebody is really good that you trust, that can listen to all of your insecurities and crazy thoughts or wild thoughts or whatever they are, without judgment too. Just to get it out of your system, right? So it's just getting it kind of out of your system too is very helpful. And then this road to authenticity is a continuous one, but it's very based in love for self. Coming to the conclusion that you are whole and complete as you are in yourself. You are good enough and whole and complete, regardless of what everybody else is reflecting back to you. Even if people aren't behaving the way that you wish they would to validate that you're a good person, understand that you are. You are whole and complete, with or without. We love that we have beautiful relationships and friendships and family members in our life too. They are add-ons to you, if I may say that too. And that's a road to get on, because most people, we live our lives trying to find outward sources of validation for us. And it's not wrong. It's the way most people are. It's kind of the way it is. And that journey back to self-love and authenticity is know thyself. Who are you? Finding yourself is good enough, worthy of love, and then trusting that what is good for you, even if other people don't agree with you too. And that takes a lot of strength and courage, because most of us are probably people pleasers, right? And we want, we care about what other people think. We don't
Completely.
want people to be mad at us. We care about their feelings, and so this is the opposite of, everybody who's sensitive. Well, I don't want to be a narcissist and not care about what anybody's feeling by being true to myself, right? And so that will play out on you too, right?
But this
You're
go
you're
back to what I
not.
said,
This is the
this go
opposite.
back to what I said earlier when I said about
Exactly.
there could be 100 people telling you not to do something, but there's a deep knowing inside of you that's what you've got to do, or that's what you feel you want to
Yeah.
do, and that's what you're meant to do. And then like
Right.
you said, but then the human society says, well, you should be listening to the other people. You're a narcissist, or you're this or that, or you took all this advice from 100 people and you completely ignore them. Yeah, because I actually trusted in me in the end, and I knew this is what me. But
Mhm.
that it's this human construct that, like you say, we think, oh, I don't want to upset
Yeah.
other people. I don't want to, and I get all of that, and I understand all of that. But we have to put ourselves first, not in a selfish way, but in a spiritual, emotional, physical, and mental way that can synchronize all together. And once we're all good and we're synchronized and we're authentic and we're ourselves, then we can deal with other people. But until we're okay ourselves, how can we? It just, you know, it is what it is. But this is why I believe that people should have to make their own decisions, and it's not shirking responsibility or whatever. I love this. Opinions is a word for people invented to give them the excuse to stick their nose in. Is what I like about the word opinions. I love that. But it's if someone comes to me and asks for my opinion, I'll give it to them. But I'm not going to just give it to them. Oh, you shouldn't be doing this. You make up your own mind. You got your own path to live deep down within you. You've got a silent voice within you that when you connect, you just know. Outside of
Yeah.
that, it's nothing. It's to do with nothing. It's to do with nobody else. You have to do what's right for you. It's like I say, it's not just about the human journey, it's about our soul's journey as well. And I think we do forget that. And some of the things you said tonight, Jennifer, has really sort of quite hit me as well. And we're still learning every day. I'm always learning something. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I sometimes slip back into my own ego as well. But you said something as well earlier that I just wanted to bring up briefly. Recently, the last few months, how the energies have been, or how this year has been actually, it's about how it's made everyone come back to your own self. We're always looking outside, like you said, for outside validations or to deal with how we're feeling because it's this person or that situation or this, when sometimes, and I think this year has forced a lot of us to step back, look at yourself, look what you can do, bring yourself back to your own energy. I took some time off myself this year, and it was the best thing I could have done, actually, because it brought me back to my own energy.
Yeah. That's a beautiful place to be, back in your own energy again,
Well,
and
very much so.
that's how like these are good litmus tests of like what is true for you. And I want to thank everybody who's joined us and for all of your beautiful comments and for interactions. It's like everything you're saying is so beautiful and perfect too. And and then we try to understand, well, how do I know if it's true, or how do I know if it's this or that? Because sometimes the mind can be a little bit tricky, and it's like, do you feel relaxed in your truth? Does it make you feel relaxed? Does it feel expansive and open? So if you're standing in a truth that makes you feel kind of constricted and like, I'm right, and being right generally isn't as good as being happy. So there's that old, saying, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Right? And we want to be happy, right? So standing in our truth, but you won't know until you know. And so that's the journey too. Is like we all want to get to the knowing of, what is right for us and stand in that power, but you won't know until you do know. And there's a journey in that, but it will feel like relief. It will feel like expansion. It will feel like open energy. It will feel like you lighting up. And that doesn't mean it's not easy. It can be still a very difficult and hard and courageous journey to
Mm.
be on, but you will know. It's a very intense note, and it's coming from your soul, not just your beautiful personality, which I want to give love to.
I'm fabulous. Yeah. Anyway.
To
Brilliant.
so happy. Jennifer says, stand in your truth, even if it means standing alone. And chances are you won't be alone for long, because then all the right people will join you and want to do that too. You give permission for others. So thank you,
Exactly. If you
Jennifer.
think about it on energy and frequency, like we've been talking about, if you're standing in your own truth, yeah, you may lose one or two people because they may not agree with you, but then people that come into your life will attract you because they like you for who you are, because you're standing in your truth. So they can resonate with that frequency, everything else. But if we constantly don't stand in our truth and constantly changing who we are, we're going to have people coming in and out all the time, and it's going to cause chaos, and you're not going to really have any connections with anyone. And then you wonder why it's going on. So sometimes we have to go through those harder times, like you said, those difficult times, to come out the other side and standing in your truth. Totally agree, Jennifer. And that's what you're, but, and Ian, including what Ian said, there's going to be tough times, testing times for all of us, though. But I think if we look at the testing times and look at how we personally can deal with it, instead of looking out at other people and go, well, you need to do this or needs this to happen, or whatever. No, look at yourself, and I feel we'll come through these testing times quite relatively unscathed if we actually look at ourselves and grow that way.
Yeah. Just stay grounded, stay in your energy. I love and Jennifer, authenticity. I've seen that same little video too, and we're trying to like, well, what does that mean to be authentic? And that's the journey. It's a continuous one, but it gets better over time. Really knowing yourself and knowing your connection and trusting in you. And that's such a beautiful gift. And you will be tested along the way, and the tests get harder and harder and harder along the way. And the fire that you go in gets hotter and hotter and hotter. But the gift at the end is that freedom. It
Oh yeah.
really is the freedom of knowing who you are and what you want, and being on that path, in the partnership. of
Yeah,
you and your soul, your higher self too. And Trudy is
completely.
saying, I could use a little less of these testing times. I hear
Couldn't
you,
we all,
girl.
Trudy? I'm with you there, Trudy. I'm with you there, girl. I tell you, the last couple
I'm
of
sure a
years,
lot of us have.
it's
Good.
been really quiet. I was going to say, not we talked about this year, but let's be honest. I don't know about you, but for me, it's been the last 4 or 5 years. The energy, something real, been a real energy shift, whether it's universal, planetary, individual, spiritual, whatever it may be. But the last 4, 5, 6 years been a real energy shift. Look what happened in COVID. Look how many people got attracted towards spirituality, all stuck at home, lockdowns, go online. Suddenly, you're connecting to people spiritual that once you didn't before. Because I don't know what it was like in America, Jennifer, but before COVID and that, if actually everything was done, face to face, you'd have to go to a local spiritualist church or a local spiritualist group, whatever, to get involved in this. And suddenly it all went online, a massive explosion of online because everyone was on COVID and everything else. And it's brought, so I think the positive out of COVID, it brought so many more people to spirituality and everything else. And that was an amazing thing. I really, really do feel that. But there's been such an energy shift. It's been such a shake-up. So when people talk about the Great Awakening or being woke or this, that, and we can all talk about political values and everything else, but I don't really want to go there. I'm talking on a spiritual level. People are starting to understand there's something more than just going to work 9 to 5, getting a job, getting a house, mortgage, 2 kids, holiday each year, and a nice car, and everyone's happy or whatever. And if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But I think there's a lot more people realizing that there's a lot more to life than what there was before. People awakening and understanding and realizing about connections, realizing about love and understanding and what it means just to reach out a hand of help to somebody every now and again, isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, very true. And you're right. I mean, it was the during COVID, that was just the prime real estate for transformation, and we're all still kind of like recovering for that. But that was, with
Mm.
the end of what Pluto and Capricorn for many, many years, which is the dark night of the soul planet of
Yeah.
transformation. And now we're in Aquarius, but just barely. So some of the thoughts are, I thought we were in Aquarius where we're all going to be kumbaya, brotherhood of man kind of
No.
thing. And I was like, now we're all fighting again. Like we're all, huh? It
Well,
will
I,
take.
I, I quote me if I'm wrong. Someone may put in the comments if I'm wrong. I think the last time we was in the age of Aquarius, it was the American Civil War or something like that. But when the age of
Yeah.
Aquarius happened, there's normally a major energy shift. But like you say, complete, and then like you say, everyone ends up kumbaya and everything's all wonderful. But like you say, that takes time. And you mentioned it earlier with spiritual stuff, and then there's no such thing as time. It makes me laugh. I laugh at this throughout my years. I learned this years and years and years ago. Spirit will say something. You get a message. Oh, it just round the corner. Good times are happening. Blah blah blah. 5 years later, it happens, and you're like, that's just round the corner. But to Spirit, 5 years is nothing. 50 years is nothing. So we just have to have that faith, that belief, and follow our inner voice, our inner soul. Our soul talks to us. Our inner voice that will never see us wrong. How many times do we go out the door during the day? Something in our head just goes, don't forget to take that. And you go, oh, no, I won't need it. And then later on the day, you needed that thing. You go, oh, I wish I'd have listened to myself. If we could just learn how to connect to that inner voice, our own inner soul. Because some people say to me, how do I connect to spirit? And I chuckle, I don't connect to spirit. I connect to me. I am spirit. I'm just in a human body, that's all. So I connect to my inner voice, and then my inner voice has conversations with other spirits. That's how I perceive it anyway. But it's everyone's experiencing something, good, bad, or
Yeah.
indifferent. Everyone's experiencing something. Everyone's experiencing a daily battle of some kind, whatever it may be. And so let's just have a little understanding of that, there may be you could buy a cup of coffee in the morning and the server, may not be the most pleasant of people because they could be just having a hard time, and sometimes a little smile can be enough just to, everything's going to be okay. And I often try and do that. I always say please and thank yous, and, I hope you have a good day as I say goodbye to someone, even shopkeepers, whatever, people, strangers. If I have an interaction, I always say, I hope you have a good day. It's just, let's just interact. Everyone's fighting their own lives. And I think if we spread that love around and have that understanding and communicate more, oh my God, 90% of the world's problems would literally evaporate overnight.
Yeah, that's so, so true. I mean, it's amazing when you can have just a calm, open discussion with somebody who
Mm.
you may have like a little disagreement with, or not sure what they meant by what they said, or something like that. And then to be able to clear
Exactly.
that up. And it's an opening for more love. It's just we need to come to into that conversation with, with a loving intent, and try to be careful how we word it so the other person doesn't feel attacked or accused, and just say, yeah, this is how I'm feeling, what did you mean
Yeah.
by that, or that kind of
Yeah.
thing, and give them an opportunity, and that's the skill. For some reason it seems to be very hard. We don't seem to learn good communication skills from childhood.
No, exactly.
And
Well,
that
again,
that that can
this
be
is the
fun.
human construct, isn't it? The way society is, and like you said, we always worry about what other people. I don't want to upset other people, and blah blah blah, and what are other people going to think, and all the rest of it. You know, whatever we do, we seem to be. We seem to lose whatever we do. Whether we do something just for ourselves, we upset somebody, or if we don't do it, then then we're upset ourselves and other people. So it's a mix. So that's where we have to be authentic to ourselves and remove emotion. And sometimes people say no or don't agree with us, not to be personal to us, just that their life and their experiences says that's not something I agree with. Doesn't mean to say anyone's a bad person. It just means, and then suddenly when you discuss it and talk about whatever that disagreement is, like I said, at some point, I guarantee you one or the other will go, do you know what? I haven't thought about it like that before. And then that allows you to grow and open your mind and give a different understanding. That's why when I traveled, and I mentioned that, like I had the privilege and the honor of being able to travel to so many different places. It made me realize it doesn't matter what language of communication you use, it's still the same. People are still fighting the same battles. People are still just trying to get through life and just trying to make life a little bit easier and a little bit better for themselves and their loved ones. And if you keep that in mind, I don't think you can go far wrong. you know.
Yeah.
And well, there you go, Jennifer, as well. We've got the new moon coming on Tuesday and the lunar eclipse as well, the
Hmm.
17th of September. I believe also we had the super moon in August this month, and I believe we've got four on the trot right up until November. I think each full moon each month is actually like a super moon, and it's like four super moons on the trot, and it hasn't been like that for a long time. I think the other day we had six planets in alignment, all in alignment. So there was another major energy shift there. So there's definitely lots going on. There's lots going on behind the scenes up above that we're not aware of, and we've just got to ride the roller coaster energies. And again, if we can just keep our side of the street clean, I think we'll get through it quite a lot better. It's harder when you're dealing with people that are not seeing it the same as you, and I don't mean like I'm right and you're wrong, but seeing it as in, oh, it's an energy shift. This is an opportunity for me to grow. If you're dealing with people that are close to that and they just think in a linear sort of way, it can be difficult to get through to people, and that's could be another lesson for ourselves to learn patience and understanding as well. So every day is a game. Every day is a wonderful day to live life. So make it the best you can be. You know, do things that make you laugh. Do things that make you happy. Do things that you feel inspired to do. And at least at the end of the day, you can turn around and say, "I give it the best I could." I think one of my fears would be laying on
Yeah.
my deathbed thinking, "I wish I'd have done." I don't want that. I want to be on my deathbed going, I gave it the best I could.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good thought. That's the thing, is we come down to the basics to remember, tomorrow's not promised, right?
Exactly.
And then what kind of legacy do we want to leave, behind us? It's probably
Yeah.
going to be, how well did we live? How well did we love? And that's those two things we hold in a beautiful dance together. And being true to who you are, and trusting that you are part of something so big and spectacular and magnificent beyond our wildest dreams. And there is love wrapped around all of that. And hold that into our hearts. That will bring us back to center. That's when we drop what I call the weapons of protection. What we may
Yeah.
call it, when the ego reactions is those protector. We're trying to protect our being because we feel we're unsafe, and so that's why we do that. So we can remember, oh, that person's behaving that way. They don't feel safe right now. And that's not your fault, right? It's just where it
Mm.
is. But dropping that down, bringing it back to self. And we do forget to focus on ourselves, our own happiness, our own growth. For me, 2024, I started off January 1st, and I was very happy to let go of 2023 because it was, that was a crazy year, right?
Yeah.
And I woke up with such happiness on January 1st, 2024, because it felt like such a new beginning and fresh start for my spirit. And I was, walking out, looking at the flowers and the sun. I mean, it was winter time, but it was a nice day for me, and I was blessed for that too. And I just chose to continue living the best life that I could, but I knew to do that was going to be every day to do something that would grow me. It
Yeah.
could be reading something, could be practicing something that would grow me to keep that focus back on what I can control, which is the growth of me, knowing that that was going to be the gift of more happiness and more fulfillment in my life versus how I used to be, which was more looking outside of myself to get that, the love and the validation, and it to be the picture of my dreams. But you get the picture of your dreams by focusing on
Yes.
you in that growth of self-love, growth of
Yes.
self-esteem, taking care of yourself. So please, y'all, take care of your bodies, your hearts, your minds, your spirits. It's a multi-dimensional approach. And if we're not healthy in our physicality, our nervous system is also going to be consistently stressed out. So we've got to learn to manage our stress. We've got to take care of our bodies as well as our mind, spirit, and emotions too. So thank you for letting me say that. I
No,
want to
you're
say
spot on.
hi to
Jennifer,
everybody who's joined, by the way.
You're
Thank you.
you're absolutely spot on, because you said it earlier. If we get a bad thought or a bad memory or a bad thing, we then overthink it. It then creates this pattern. It then creates this energy that then stresses our nervous system out. Then we then physically react to that, and then that brings our vibration lower, becomes negative. We then attract what we are. So if we're down, lower, and negative, we're going to attract down, lower, and negative, and we end up on that downward spiral. So be aware of your thoughts. Be aware of what you're thinking about. Be aware of those memories. And if you sit there and think, and I do, there's times when I feel I get caught into it. It's not perfect. But then when I catch myself, oh, I'm in this mode of thinking, I think of something happy. I think I'm one of the penguins in the Mary Poppins film, when he's in, with Bert, when they're doing the, the animated dancing and drawing, and all that. I do something that makes me feel funny, or just like, and it's purely just to change my energy. My energy's low. It feels melancholy. It's down. Let's do something that just lifts it. And suddenly when you lift it, suddenly your thoughts go with it. Your thoughts become positive and you're happy. So be aware of your mental health. You're right. Go out and exercise. Go and do a walk. Go and be in water. Whatever it is that makes you feel relaxed, self-love, you have to have that. And, remove that negative energy. Sometimes solving a problem can be as simple as that. Removing that negative energy, just flipping it to a positive. But find out how it works for you. One of my things is, like I said, it's that Mary Poppins thing. That's one of my things that works for me every time, because it just gives me a happy memory of when I was a child. So and because of that, then my nervous system will put that happy memory throughout my body, and then my physical body will lift up, because it's so it has ripple effects on everything. It's not just mood and everything, it's physical. And once we understand we control our energy, we control ourselves, we can then use that thermostat dial to turn up or to turn down our energy or frequency, whatever we need it to be. And once we learn that self-control, oh my God, then the benefits you can do for other people, the healing that you can do, the showing the people what they can do in their lives, and the ripple effect on that. Once we're good in ourselves and we've got that self-love in ourselves, and we keep that self-discipline to look after ourselves and to tell ourselves that we are worthy, that we are lovable, that we love who we are. I'm not saying, oh, I love you, but you know what I mean? It's like, I like who I am. I love who I am. I'm authentic to myself. Oh my God, the ripple effect we can do, where we can heal others mentally, emotionally, and spiritually and physically, is amazing. And it's like Christopher said, if you treat others exactly the way that you want to be treated yourself. I think there's that quote, isn't it? That Eminem quote. I don't care if you're black, white, pink, or whatever you are. If you're nice to me, I'm nice to you. It's simple as that. And that's how I try to live my life. And that's one thing I learned, again, with my travels that I've done. If you're nice to me, I'm nice to you. And that's how most people are. Everybody I've ever met, I've never had any problems anywhere in the world, just purely because I respected the people and they respected me. I was nice to them, they was nice to me, and everyone was happy. As soon as we put up these barriers, as soon as we put up these negativities, as soon as we put up these negative thoughts or feelings, it creates that discord. Be nice to people and chance up. But don't get me wrong, it's not perfect. There's bad people out there, but I'm not going to change who I am, because if I change who I am, then that darker negative energy is one. I've got to, no matter how people treat me, I've still got to try my best to try and be as good as I can be, because as soon as we change, so if someone does something bad to me and then I change my behavior because of that, then that negative energy is one, because it's changed me. Does that make sense? So I continue to try and, people say, bless you, my child, whatever, so if someone does, even someone does something negative to me, I don't hate them. I don't wish them, negative or bad things in their life. I just wish them love and I got to have a belief in myself, be true to me and be authentic. It's as simple as that. And if we can be authentic to ourselves, this world would be in so much a nicer place. It really would. And
It
I've
would.
got to say that the
Amen. Amen to that.
yeah,
That just says it all. And so if we can remember, we are not our thoughts. Our thoughts are experiences that are channeling through our perceptive reality. So when we
yes,
attach to them as real, and I'm not saying it's wrong to do that. I don't want you to feel bad because it happened, because we all do it, right? But we can learn to cultivate more of the detachment where we're watching the thoughts and just saying that might not be true. I don't
yeah,
know if that's true, or that is not, especially if it's you're feeling negative about yourself, and taking that personal responsibility to keep growing. These are things you can control. It's a journey, but it's a journey worth taking, because the road to happiness is within the self and the journey of growing you. And so what a beautiful blessing for us all to be here today. I want to thank everybody who's joined us. We've had so many beautiful friends that have joined us here today. I want to thank you for all of your self comments and your love and your beautiful um, um, contributions here today. Sorry, I got a little bit of my thoughts, because the energy has got the spirit's like, oh yeah, 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 yeah. So they're all so happy here today. But I love what we got to share here today, and hopefully this will help us, get through the rest of this year with more peace and happiness, because we all deserve to feel peace. We all
I
deserve to
agree.
feel good. We
Amen
are
to
all
that.
worthy of love. We are all pure love anyways,
Amen to that.
and we all deserve to be happy, right? And so
Oh, I
the more
completely
we
agree.
believe,
But
yeah,
this is we all deserve to be happy. This is my last sort of message for everyone tonight. This is, you know, this is all about you. And what I mean is, it's all about ourselves. Everyone deserves to be happy, but you have to choose to be happy, guys. If you make that decision, from this point forward, I'm choosing to be happy, and you flip your energy and choose to be happy, you'll still have issues, you still have things that you'll have to deal with in life. That's life. But I'd rather deal with them in a happy way and in a happy and
yeah,
it's about your choice. What do you want to be? Do you want to be happy, or do you want to carry on? No, I want to be happy. So make that choice. It's all about you, guys.
yeah. Amen. That's what I did too. And it doesn't mean you're never going to feel a negative emotion. You can still get sad. You can still be
Of course.
stressed out, but you just keep bringing it back,
Yes.
regardless of your circumstances, you choose to be happy anyways,
Yes.
and you are allowed to do that. If you could give yourself permission to do that. I do that through happy music, through exercise, through, taking care of myself, through interacting with people that I love. And even if things in my world aren't going perfectly, I choose to be happy anyways, and I just keep coming back to that. So even if I slip, I just come back to that. So I'm right there with you. So um I I hope this helps. I feel like we really did raise the vibration here today, and because
Do you know what? I feel better. So yeah, done something, girl.
I can feel it now. I can feel what this group, all of us here today, have accomplished, and really raising the vibration and shifting the energy. And so, like you said, shift the energy by doing something like that. I was hearing raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens when you talk about Mary Poppins. That started
Love
coming
that.
in my.
I
Maybe
get you.
y'all want to have a listen to that song. These are a few of my favorites.
Well, that's that
So
was
with
that
that,
that's Sound of Music, that one, wasn't it? That's still same woman, but
yeah.
Sound of Music, that one. But I adore
Oh,
Sound of
you're
Music.
right. It's Julie. It's
Julie
Julie. Yeah,
Andrews.
Julie
That's
Andrews.
Julie Andrews.
Yeah.
No, I Sound of Music. I grew up. I mean, I loved Mary Poppins as a kid. I know I'm a bloke, but I loved it as a kid. But my mum always watched Sound of Music, so I know that one off by heart. But yeah, again, when I mentioned about me and Mary Poppins, one of the penguins in the thing, you heard that song. That's what makes you feel good. You know, raindrops on the, these are a few of my favorite things. Just think and do something that makes you feel good. Like you said, listen to a favorite song, a nice song, a happy song. Go out do a bit of exercise, go outside for a walk, go and hug a tree, do whatever it is just that lifts you, that makes you feel good. And if you get that feeling, that just then, oh, I'm getting it now, goosebumps, it all comes through, then that energy will flow through your body and it lifts you and it lifts the thing. And then suddenly you've got a spring in your step again and then you're getting through life. But like you said, Jennifer, it's still okay. A few days later, a week later, you may feel down again or a bit thing. Then bring yourself back to you again. Just bring yourself to that positivity. Just keep doing it. And eventually, those times when they get negative, the gaps will get bigger and bigger and bigger because your body and your brain starts to learn a positive way of living, a positive way of thinking, and yeah. And it's lovely. And you're definitely right. We've definitely lifted something or shifted something tonight.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Simon. So, what a beautiful conversation. I'm so happy. I'm way happier than when I even started. So, so look at us here today. Any last minute words you'd like to leave with us before we
None
say goodbye?
whatsoever. Just what we said. It's all about you guys. Find your own happiness. Find what works for you.
Absolutely. Thank you to everybody, all our beautiful friends, for joining us here today. Thank you for commenting and contributing. We love all of you so much. Thank you for hearting, sharing, all of that good stuff too. It helps the Sacred Spiral to keep growing. It helps Embracing Infinity, helps each of us to grow as well. And as I love to say, may all of this love, healing, and happiness and joy that we've lifted today and created today be spread across the whole world and beyond so that every being and every form of consciousness can feel that too. And everybody who is looking to find home, may they all find their home safe and sound and in the arms of the angels as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here today. And we look forward to seeing you next week on Embracing Infinity. Bye, everybody. Take good care of yourself and have a beautiful holiday weekend. Thank you.
Take care.
Take good care.